This is FYI on your TV, brought to you by Hometown News. I'm Kathy Botham. I have got Gray Masson with me and Jane Stott. Jane, you've been here on FYI before.
I have indeed. Glad to
And,
see you again.
and Gray, this is your first time. Welcome to FYI.
Thank you very much.
You're both with Studio Theatre Perth, and we're here to talk about a play which is amazing. Through this pandemic, you guys have been able to make it work. Jane, maybe you can talk a little bit about how you've been able to make it work. You've got, I think, 7 plays going on this year.
We do. We've been, these plays have sort of been in the back room waiting to go on for over a year, because there was a time when we were shut down completely. Then we were open, then we were shut down again. And now, as of January 31st, we will be open again to 50% capacity, which for our theater means we can sell pretty close to 100 seats. So that's going to be able to make it feasible for us to open. And we've got plays coming up. We've got music coming up through Harmony Concerts. We've got, music from Harmony Concert and movies coming up as well.
And what good timing, January 31st, and opening night, I believe, Gray, is February 10th, and you're the director. Let's talk about the play that you're directing.
Okay, sure. Yes, it does open February 10th. It's Taking Care of the Browns by Peter Paler, who's a playwright from the Quinte region. This is the second time it's been put on. It's just a lovely, heartwarming, fun, hilarious play about people, about friendship and family, and about the importance of having someone to talk to.
And going through a pandemic, we all understand what the importance of having somebody to talk to is. So you're with Studio Theatre Perth. How long have you been with the Studio Theatre?
It's just about 10 years that I've been with theatre studio.
So what positions have you played here? You must have been on stage, now you're directing?
Oh yes, my first few times I was on stage. And I've directed a couple of times before. A little bit of backstage work. I haven't done as much as others have, that's for sure.
So which one is most interesting to you? Which one do you like doing the best? Put you on the spot.
You know, I used to say I never understood directors, because why would you devote something to that much time to something and not get on stage? That just didn't make sense to me. But when I get to work with people like I'm working on this production and the other productions I've done, it's just fun. You have to have your own vision, of course, so because everybody's going to try and do what you want. So it's a little bit different that way. But I'd go either way right now.
All right. So what's the timeline? Like, when did you start? I mean, auditions for this, and you've had to be practicing putting the stage together. What is the timeline for each play?
We usually have about an 8-week rehearsal period. We auditioned in late November, and then rehearsed it a bit in November. In December, took some time off around Christmas and New Year's, and have been trying to keep it going ever since. But the weather hasn't helped, and
Yes, for sure,
there are
for
issues.
sure.
Yeah.
So I look at your schedule for this year, and there's 7 plays, and you say there's going to be movies going on, and you've got musical entertainment as well too. You mustn't always be doing rehearsals at on the stage, I guess is what I'm saying.
We are actually, the plays are what comes first. We can put a movie screen down in front of the set, so that's not a problem. And we're not getting prog rock bands with their 50-piece drum kit and 17 keyboards. We're getting smaller acts in that can fit on our set, really suit the theater, and they're always excellent musicians and entertainment.
Oh, excellent. Now, Jane, I'm going to direct this question to you then. You've got 7 plays going on. How do you choose which plays to do?
That's a very interesting question. We have a play reading committee. So people are invited to submit plays that they think might work for our demographic, our take, for our stage, for what we have in the way of lighting. And so they submit plays, and then we get a play reading committee together, and everybody reads a lot of plays, and then we grade them all based on the things that I just mentioned, whether or not we could put them on successful and whether they draw in the crowds. And that's how we do our season. And we'll actually be starting a play reading committee, probably I would say March or April of this year, and getting all sorts of plays in, and directors will submit plays, and it speaks very well for the play if the director says, oh, and by the way, I'm willing to direct this play if it gets chosen. So we try and have a good mix of, we try and do a Canadian play, we try and do something that people really recognize, which usually has been made into a movie, comedy, drama, maybe a mystery, maybe something a little psychological, film noir type of play. Try and have a good mix. We don't just stick to one particular type. And whatever we think will bring in the audiences and that we have the cast and crew to put on.
I'm just amazed at the turnover between your plays, though. You've got Taking Care of the Browns from February 10th to the 20th, and then the next one is Shirley Valentine on March 31st. So that's not a big changeover to take a set down and build another set, too. And then you've got other entertainment going on in between there, too. So I'm just amazed at how quick you guys can make this work.
Well, usually the set comes down, is struck by the crew that builds it. It's usually taken down the morning after the last show. So then this is completely cleared off unless the next show in line can use part of it. Like maybe you can use a back wall or something. It's going to have to be painted or moved, but that will stay. And the 2 weeks of the show, whenever it's on stage, the next play in line, of course, doesn't use the theater. They rehearse somewhere else. We sometimes rehearse at the high school, or we can rehearse in a church hall. But it works very well, and it just keeps on flowing all the way through the year.
Do you ever have somebody who's, involved in one play and then the next one too, or does everybody get a little bit of a break?
Gray can speak to you about that, actually.
Okay.
It can happen, yes. In fact, one of the actors in this play is scheduled to direct a play at another theater so she should be missing some rehearsals so she can direct that play. Unfortunately, because of the pandemic, it hasn't been able to go forward yet. But fortunately for us. But that's, yeah, it can happen. We do put on so much theater, and then people want to be involved.
Wow. And this is all volunteer work too, as well?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a great commitment from you guys too. So, Gray, your play, Taking Care of Business, you're the director. It's February 10th to the 20th. Can you talk about how to get tickets?
Tickets are available online at Tickets Please. They're $24. They're $5 off on opening night. So just go to the website and order them there. You can get them at the door, probably. We usually have some available, and that's the best way.
All right. You're taking a chance waiting for tickets, though, sometimes. If you don't order them early.
Well, we'd like you to think that. Yeah, just, and people, they'll have to be vaxxed. They'll have to, and have the proof of vaccination. And they'll have to distance from others. But people are pretty good about taking care of that. We've got ushers to make sure that happens.
All right. So that
and
play,
of course,
Taking Care of
everybody
the
will be
Browns.
masked.
Oops, sorry,
Well,
Jane?
masks too, of course.
Sorry, I was just going to say, yeah, and wearing the masks too, of course.
Yes, for sure, for sure. So Taking Care of the Browns is February 10th to the 20th. How many performances are in there?
There are 8.
There are 8.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday evenings, and a Sunday matinee each week.
So it runs for
2
10
weeks.
days and there's 8 performances. You don't get a lot of breaks in there, Greg.
Actually, by then, I don't have a lot to do. The actors and the crew, they're busy as can be, all right.
Yes, that's right. That's right. For sure.
That's why we do it, for those 8 days.
Yeah. Well, rubber hits the road after opening night. It's go time.
Oh, yeah. Even the week before with tech and dress rehearsals and so on.
Excellent.
It's all about the theater in the evenings.
That's great. It's quite a commitment on everybody's part. Is there anything you'd like to say, Jane, before we wrap up?
No, I did sit in on one of the rehearsals, and I just think that it's going to be a real hoot. It's going to be so much fun to get out there into the theater and laugh with Taking Care of the Browns. So I hope everybody feels comfortable enough and trusts the theater enough that we're taking all the precautions buys a ticket and comes out, it'll be good for us and it'll be really good for you just to get out there and have a good laugh.
All right, all right. So looking at 2022, how many times are you directing, Jane? How many times are you on stage?
I'm not on stage at this point. I'm directing a one act in the fall, and I am directing the second Willie Russell playwright play in March, April, which is Shirley Valentine. So directing 2 plays, and maybe I'll audition for something, who knows? Oh, I'm also stage managing another play, so.
Oh, how about you, Gray? What does 2022 look like for you?
There's a possibility. I think we may be short a director or 2 at this point, so I'm not sure about that anymore. So I may do that. I'm not sure there are too many parts that suit me this year, so I probably won't be on stage.
Oh, okay. All right. But you'll be at the theater.
Cast. Yeah, that's it.
Well, Gray, there is the Lone Rider, and I think there's a villain in there that you could probably be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
We're doing an
There is
audition
that.
right here on FYI. There you go.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you very much for joining me. We've got Jane Stott and Gray Masson from the Studio Theatre Perth joining us today. First play going on this year. It starts on February 10th, Taking Care of the Browns. Make sure you get your tickets early.